And when Rodri's ready, here we go. Spain have won the World Cup.
Take a look at the scene, shall we, once again? Oh, wow, in Madrid. Look at that, coming up, by the way. After the trophy ceremony, we are going to take you to Nashville for IndyCar racing, the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix. That is coming up next on Fox. But plenty more to bring you from New York, New Jersey, as we welcome you back inside the stadium. We're getting ready for the presentation, of course, of the World Cup, but of all the other trophies as well, the Golden Glove, the Golden Boot, the Golden Ball. There are quite a few of them. Thierry, Zlatan and Alexi. Alexi, when you look at the World Cup run now for Spain, since the beginning of this tournament to now, does it look like a very nice, steady trajectory?
Yeah, it does. It does look very even. Like, as I said, very balanced. You know, while much of the world and the World Cup was focused on stars and big teams, and rightfully so, and they certainly brought it. This team, to the extent that Spain can stay under the radar, was relatively under the radar in what they were doing. Getting the wins, not necessarily showing up when it came to the stat sheet in stars, while you had your Mbappes running around and doing what they were doing. This team, their biggest star, Lamine Yamal, he's a world champion. Right? Did he star throughout the tournament? In his own unique way, but certainly not compared to the other stars in this tournament. But we heard Stu, and everybody has said that is part of what this team was built on, is depth and talent and spreading the wealth, regardless of how big a star you are.
It's also built, as you mentioned, Thierry, on identity and on philosophy. It's a system there in Spain. For maybe plenty of people watching who don't yet understand or know too much about that, how can other countries get a system like Spain's?
Go to work. Think about how you want to go about it. At every level, play the same way. This is why they're dominating world football on every level, and it can be men and women. It doesn't really matter. They go about it the same way. But I wanted to add something very important, because before the break we saw Ferran Torres, and before the game we talk about Leo Messi. Don't ever give up. You know why? The World Cup for Spain started on a miss of Ferran Torres in a 6-yard box against Capo Verde. Everyone killed him. Spain cannot score. Spain don't have this. Spain don't have that. I said, be careful. Stay quiet and calm, because they don't concede goal and they're good on the ball. They will go about it a different way. Now, who scores?
Ferran Torres.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Don't ever give up. They know what they're doing for a very long time.
Lamine Yamal, we know, we've talked about him with you all competition long. We know you think he's the best player in the world. He hasn't maybe shown that. Maybe is that fair during this World Cup, Zlatan? But 19 years of age, he's a world champion, right?
As Alexis said, he came in the tournament, he wasn't 100%. He didn't have his best tournament, and still Spain dominated every game. That says how good they are as a team, even if Yamal didn't perform. And they won the World Cup without this guy performing like he normally does. So that says how good Spain is, because when they start to play and when they start to do those passes, they take your spirit away, they take your hope away. And then I know, as a player, when I used to play, if I don't touch the ball, if I have opposite opponent that always keep the ball, I get crazy, I lose patience, and you just want to run after them and you start kicking. That is what they did with every team in this tournament. And in the end, they're the best nation in the world.
They did it against some very good competition. I mean, that game against France was almost their coming out party for people that maybe hadn't been paying attention to what Spain was doing. Again, it's difficult, given how good they are, to ignore them, but relative to other teams, what they did was just complete decimation. And I know Thierry, as much as a Frenchman he is, he recognizes that and admits that. And for a lot of people are like, wow, this is something special. And then they continued on here again with the patience, understanding it's difficult to break down teams, and sometimes it takes time. But they believed that it was going to come. Maybe it's going to come in the middle, maybe it's going to come in at the end, maybe it's going to come late.
Can I play the host?
Yeah.
What would you prefer? Play well, score a lot of goals, or stop a lot of goals, or win the World Cup?
Listen, the goals come and go, but these are world champions. That's for the rest of their life and for history.
So winning the World Cup.
Of course.
What about you, big man?
I mean, it's not important how you win, it's about winning. But they won it in their way, which makes it even more beautiful.
But the main point is, you would rather win the World Cup than scoring maybe 10 to 8 to 9 goals. I'd rather win the World Cup personally.
And
every day of the week.
He's the best defense also in the tournament.
Yes.
So it's not only about the best attack. It's the best attack normally is the best
They
defense.
defend high. You don't have to defend your box. You can defend in every area of the field. They pick and choose to defend high, and it's the team that conceded the less goal and the less opportunities. Figure it out if you don't understand what I'm saying.
As they say in
Rebecca,
football,
wait.
defense.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Thierry was the host. Keep going.
But where do we go now?
We're going to go to an interview with a winning manager.
So we're going to an interview with the winning manager, and if you don't believe me, you're going to see it right now.
Luis de la Fuente. Here we go.
We are world champions. I am very proud, very happy for my players. I was telling your colleagues before that we closed a very important chapter. We've won in all the categories. We've grown together. We reached this stage today thanks to their talent, to their attitude, to their commitment, to their values, and to the huge footballing talent. And on top of that, this team has a long way to go. So we are already thinking what's coming next, what is coming up.
Some thoughts there from Luis de la Fuente, and a key phrase, Alexi, in that interview: we have grown together. How important is that to try to build some sort of dynasty in football?
But I also think what was key is in the way that he phrased it as it's not just at the senior level, it's not just men's, it's women's, it's kind of everything in the way that they think about doing things. Now you have to get buy-in. It's a very different type of culture. It has a history, it has an understanding, it has previous success that they can build on. But at some point, you have to say, this is the direction that we're going because this is who we are. And the players have to believe it, the coaches have to believe it, the fans have to believe it, but the proof is ultimately in the pudding, in the ultimate success. Sometimes it doesn't come immediately, and then you like, oh, we got to go in a different direction, but they believe in the direction that they were going, and now they're reaping the benefits of it.
The team De Fuente selected for this World Cup, not even one Real Madrid player.
Correct.
Not even one. That's the biggest club in the world. That says how strong this nation is with players.
Yeah, certainly when he named the squad, and then I think during the course of the World Cup, Marc Cucurella is on his way. Yeah, but you're right.
That's right.
That's what I mean, Rebecca. Do your research.
Quite literally did.
Okay, no, I wanted to add something. Do I have time to add something?
Quick.
No, do you have a philosophy in place in the building, and you go and get a coach that's going to fit that? Or you're going to go and get a coach that switches every time what he wants to bring to you? That's what you need to figure it out. Build something and then go and get someone that's going to fit what you have here. That's what they do.
That's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Let's hear from the goal scorer, because Ferran Torres, just a second substitute to score the winning goal in a World Cup final. Let's hear from him now.
Ferran Torres, champion of the world. How does that sound?
Honestly, I can't believe it. I just try to enjoy, but I don't know what's happening.
Tell me about the moment that your beautiful left foot made the contact and the net bulged.
Honestly, I didn't think too much. I just saw the ball coming to me, and I just shoot with the power of all the Spanish people.
Eres campeón del mundo. Muchas gracias. Sí, enhorabuena, tío.
Some words there from the goal scorer, the match winner, world champion Ferran Torres. Just a reminder, we will, of course, bring you the trophy lift. We're also waiting for the other awards as well. The likes of the Golden Boot, Kylian Mbappe has won that. The likes of the Golden Ball, Golden Glove as well for best goalkeeper at the tournament. Golden Ball is for best player. Let's talk about Argentina just real quick, because they brought a lot to this tournament, absolutely. Today, what did they bring?
First off, let's keep some history. Back-to-back hasn't happened, and still hasn't happened since 58-62. So it's very, very difficult. History is against them, but this is still a wonderful team. Relative to this tournament, what they did, it's not all Messi, but it is a lot of Messi, and I think people are going to be talking about this team for a long time. But as we mentioned, time and time again, they went to that well, and it was a beautiful well, and it was a magic well, and it was one that not just Argentinian fans, but everybody kind of wanted to be a part of and wanted to see them still have something in it. Today they went to that well, and it was dry, but they did what they needed to do to at least compete, to even have a chance, and that's a credit to them. That's a credit to the mentality. But I think just as France the other day will say they got beaten by a better team thoroughly, I think even though it lasted this long, Argentina will believe and understand that they got beaten by a better team today.
25 past midnight local time in Madrid, Spain. Nobody's going to bed tonight, I can assure you. Look at the scene in the Spanish capital as for the first time in 16 years and for just the second time in their history, this Spain team, this Spain system, as we've been talking about, is bringing home the World Cup trophy. In terms of Argentina, I'd love to get a word, Thierry, from you both.
I have to say, people need to understand what Argentina was about to do, and Spain stopped them. Copa America, World Cup, Copa America, and then the final of the World Cup. No one has ever done that before in their history. You can take any tournament, you can look at it. So if they did that, I said to Zlatan, I would have dropped the mic and just left. You need to realize what they just missed. And only Spain stopped them doing that. So all I can say about Argentina, listen, what you have done, we see the big man here, or little man like I call him, but you know what I mean by that when I say that. Look, well done Argentina, the grit, the desire. You did it with style before, but you never, ever gave up. And Lex said it, you played against a better team. So thank you, and thank you, Leo.
Spain world champions for the second time, and you can see right there what it means to everyone back in Madrid and in Spain. Incredible scenes. I'm sure you'll see plenty more over the course of the next few days. This World Cup began with a record 48 nations, and after 104 matches across 39 days, Spain are the last team standing. And maybe, I think for the last time, let me reintroduce you to Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Alexis Lalas, and definitely for the last time, we're going to show you the highlight from this game. Well, the FIFA World Cup trophy, of course, being brought out. We had all the pomp and circumstance, Alexi, that this game deserves beforehand, before we got stuck into the business. And there wasn't much to talk about until the second half.
No, it was Spain just chipping away at this stubborn Argentinian team. Lamine Yamal's going to put this cross in here, and Ferran Torres with the header. But just finding no purchase. Right into the hands of Martinez. Continue on. I'm going to give you a little foreshadow, and then I'm going to let T take over later on here. Enzo Fernandez, all right, he gets fouled. He's angry, as one is. You can't do that. A little bit of dissent. Referee says, no, I'm not having that. Not on my watch. I will give you a yellow card. And you can clap. Doesn't matter. You got that yellow card.
And then Nico Williams goes on the counter. We all thought that was going to be the moment. I'm sorry, but he should have passed that ball to Lamine Yamal on the second post. As you can see, Lamine Yamal is upset. And Emiliano Martinez saves it. And if you're on the yellow, Enzo Fernandez, don't go so much into that challenge. You know, you can't go like that into that challenge if you're already on a yellow. It's a red, and rightly so. And then Lamine Yamal, we all thought that maybe he was going to score, but Emiliano Martinez on the way to take it to extra time, 0-0.
Zlatan.
Then we're gonna see a situation here where Spain actually scored and the whole stadium thought they scored, but the referee saw something else. Look, Nico Williams scores. Spain celebrating, even Nico Williams, but the referee whistled before that shot was made. And if you can see here, a little step on the foot, and was awarded free kick there, Argentina.
Give us a real goal, man. Give us a real goal. See,
Yes.
come on.
Now we're gonna see here, look at this, the images speak for itself first. And then I'm gonna tell you, look at that pass from Nico Williams also. The back pass follows up by who? Thierry?
The ex-players that won it.
Everybody's happy. The first time they won it was in extra time. The second time Spain wins it is also in extra time.
1-0 both.
Let's go. First World Cup goal by who, Rebecca?
Ferran Torres.
No, Iniesta, the first one.
Oh, I don't know what you were asking.
She's enjoying back behind us. What do we have here? We have a corner from Lionel Messi and a shot outside the goal.
They did have a moment, didn't they? Right near the end. They
all
definitely
thought that
had a
maybe.
moment.
Maybe, but then
And then
it was finished.
look at that.
Game over. Spain, World Cup champions.
This is what I meant earlier. You know, we can talk about Kylian Mbappe that won, you know, the Golden Boots. We can talk about Michael Olise with his assists. We can talk about Kane, Bellingham, and those guys had great tournaments. Those teams also, that's not because you don't go to the final that you don't have a good tournament. But at the end of the very day, this is what I was saying. This is what...
It didn't matter. And I think you just said it, Roy, isn't it? Interesting. The nature of the goal in the end was...
Yeah, for all...
Maybe not very Spanish, but so
what? For all their technical brilliance, it was a ball into the far post, a knockdown, and a bit very simple but very effective. And we also speak about the importance of players coming off the bench. We saw it in the last Euro final for Spain. And again, simple. And again, they're on the back for Argentina. But did I think they'd concede a goal from this point of view? Probably not. But it was a lovely knockdown. Again, all very simple. And we see Simone who gets caught in the edge of the box. A young player, we don't want to be too harsh on him. And he makes a run before that. He definitely picks up some sort of knock. So he's definitely kind of limping back into position. But once the ball goes into the box and you let your midfielder to get outside of you, or the attacking player, you're in big trouble from the knockdown. And he never quite
makes the ground up again.
No, he doesn't. Do you know what? Well, it's strange in a way. He does kind of get back in there, but then just stops.
Right, don't you think he's got far enough? I might as well go even further.
Yeah, of course. You're right, Righty. Like, again, he's just trying to get...
He's got that far, he might as well go.
In the game, and he is a sub, but he's got to keep going now. He's got to keep going. Keep going. I don't know why he's stopping there. And that stop has cost him. And he knows, he will know, his dad will know, everyone will know that you just got to go the extra few yards. Because he's made the effort to go all the way back in there. He's got to go the extra 2 or 3 yards.
What Williams does. Good technique here, Ian, as well from Torres, because quite often you see people, we're about to see it with Simeone himself, hit it too hard in that situation.
You know what's good about that, guys? Obviously, he's weaker foot as well, Poogs. You can see the concentration on just hitting it. And I always say, hit it higher. Hit it higher, because like if you hit it low, you've got bodies, goalkeeper bodies trying to block. If you hit it higher, it might hit an arm, or it might hit an arm and go in, but hit it higher. That's what he's done. He just got a really good connection on the side foot, got it on target with good power.
We were going through a bit of deja vu, because after Spain took the lead, they sat back a bit, Roy, and suddenly Argentina had a couple of chances, didn't they?
They did, absolutely. Yeah. Again, of course, they're going to go for it and gamble. Obviously, they're up against it. They're tired now.
This is the one, Simeone.
If you're going to get one chance, and obviously we're just praising Spain there for getting over the ball. He's got, technically, he's not, listen, I think he's been poor throughout the court. He's been on a slide, his work rate. But he, like Righty was saying, he's certainly got to hit the target. You might get a handball, you might get a deflection, but you've got to hit the target.
Has he not got his feet sorted out?
You know what it was? I think there was one earlier on. We showed Messi when he had the same thing. It's coming. It's the same thing, but you've got to get your knee over it so you can stay balanced.
That's the body against Egypt.
So you want to hit it low. You got to hit it low. He's kind of leaning too far back, and that, again, it was. You know, he's okay there to get up there in the box to hit that, but like it was a poor strike from him in the circumstances.
It was, even by Spain standards, that was a bit of a nervy last 5-6 minutes, wasn't it?
It blows my mind. I know that Messi just sits out of the game, that teams haven't cottoned on to that and just sort of, if you like, just put someone as a sort of like almost
guard.
Like you have someone cheating up front. Yeah, guard. Just go and have someone stand against him, because when he does get on the ball, it just frightens you to death.
Why did Spain keep dropping back? You know what I mean? Even the Spanish do it.
They didn't drop back that much.
All right.
There was nothing wrong with their mentality, though, was there?
No, exactly. No, and they got the job done.
Yeah, they got the job done. They kept the ball actually up the other end when they needed to as well. Funny, because Yamal obviously came into his game in the semi-final. That was probably Williams' most effective time as well. He came into the tournament injured as well. And I think it's easy to forget that at the Euros they were both fit the whole time, and that's why they had such an impact. It's taken a bit of time for them to get up to speed.
Well, even him in that game there, you know, he done some really good things. You know, his pace is obviously a problem for them. He done a couple. I thought he had a good chance where he could have maybe squared it, or he could have gone on and had a shot. Them great skill, but he messed that up. But I think that's just a little bit of rustiness. But in the end, his header back was absolutely brilliant.
Just to tell everybody, we're waiting for the presentation party, not Justin Bieber again. We may be waiting for Bieber, I don't know.
Just one thing, the Spanish manager took off Laporte and Rodri.
Yes.
At 0-0. I think that's incredible. You talk about bravery and sort of substitutions in matches. They're probably Spain's two most influential players in those clean sheets.
And that was him saying, I'm still very confident we can get a goal.
Absolutely.
We only need to go one way. Let's go back to the stadium in New Jersey. Emma Hayes and Karen Carney are with Laura Woods and with their thoughts on Spain's win.
Monkey, thank you very much. As we wait for Spain to get their winners' medals and also the closing ceremony to happen, Emma has come back and joined me and Kaz. We're watching the whole game here. Emma, from your perspective, Argentina with no shots in normal time and then managed to string it out right to the end of extra time. What are your thoughts on this final as a whole?
I think it wasn't a contest. I think it was a death by a million cuts by Spain. But It was like just waiting for them to put a dying dog down. It needed the ball to go in the back of the net. It's probably the one killer thing. Argentina have scored more goals than Spain in this tournament. I think if Spain had put the game away earlier, there would have been no extra time.
And they had 400 passes more than Argentina.
But you know what, Kaz? We talk about England going out and them having to travel more miles, play more 120 minutes, play in the heat and the humidity. It looked like the England game was in the Argentinian legs today.
What about Spain's performance? Not just today, because today, as the guys in the studio were saying, was not the most enthralling final, but their journey to the final and the fact that they made France look pretty ordinary, Kaz. They've had a great tournament.
We were at that game and they cruised past France. And look, they dominated today and it was that final third, but Argentina, they played their way. They try and stifle the game, they try and agitate you, they try and annoy you, and they slow it down. But credit to Spain, they've improved along the tournament and they've got better and better, and they have cruised through it. Semi-final and final today, and they are the deserved winners. And I don't know if it was Ali or Lee said football won today, and it did in Spain, so they were superb.
They had got themselves quite a few there'll be people that are watching, Emma, that are very happy that Spain won because of the way Argentina conducted themselves.
You know what, I'm more focused on what they do, how they produce players, how they develop players, how they are part of a culture from very young to the seniorest levels where they are completely true to their ideology and the way they play. And it comes across in its entirety. It is very, very clear that a lot of these players have played together, coming through the system. I thought they cruised the game.
The coaches brought them through as well, Emma. You're talking about under-19s, under-21, success at Olympics with your 23s, you're right. They've come through and they've done that together, and then you have to give a lot of credit to the coach because he's worked with those players.
Yes, and he picks the collective. Everyone starts saying, why isn't this player, David Raya playing? He believes in the collective responsibility to be able to break down teams. And as Kaz said at the beginning of the game, their counter-pressing was second to none. That is what sets them apart.
Do you know what I like Kabasi, 19-year-old centre-back who's had to deal with so many superstar strikers. I've only conceded once. He's 19. And he was phenomenal. He kept everybody quiet, not only in this game, but along the journey.
You've obviously got Spain, who are now European champions, World Cup champions as well. What about for Argentina, who have to hand over that mantle and will no doubt, probably, unless something happens, will probably lose Messi for the next World Cup and will look a very different team, Emma, for you.
Got 3 stars on their crest, above their crest. We got to show a lot of respect to a team that has a different collective, their brotherhood and the way they played. This crowd was tremendous today. The team gave them no shots on target, barely any entries into the final third. And they could have nicked an equaliser at the death.
Kaz, let's have a look at the goal. It took 20 shots for Spain to eventually break this Argentina side down and get this goal by Ferran Torres.
Well, we spoke about it in the England game when teams go to a back 5. These spaces on the outside where you're going to set it back to now, the cross there. It's hard to stop that cross coming in, and the lads in the studio spoke about concentration, but it's a setback, and I think Ali said it as well, it's the most unorthodox Spanish goal we'll see because they're used to playing through you, but those type of deliveries, that type of chaos, that type of response, and they're sharper. Why? Because they have 400 passes more than you. They tire you out, so when these moments come and you switch off in that last second, bang, you're up 1-0 down, you lose the World Cup.
Trend of the World Cup for the top teams, crosses, and all the top teams have had to find different ways because, as you've mentioned, their teams are being pushed back into a back 5. So these sort of out-swinging balls, goalkeepers can't come for them. It was no more than they deserved. I'm just surprised it took so long.
Don't want to see him at next year's Women's World Cup.
Why not? It's
from your team.
No, look, the realities are that you have to find many different ways at different times. I think, yes, it's a victory for football, but celebrate both teams.
I think one of the phrases of the tournament has been Argentina never know they're beaten, not just this tournament, tournaments before as well. Today they were beaten, but in terms of the way Argentina managed to try and see out games, we saw some of their chances late on there. It came very close, Kaz, for them.
I mean, we spoke about it. We're down to 10 players, and Enzo will be apologising, I'm sure, in that dressing room. And and then we spoke about Messi not doing the type of off-the-ball work stuff. So to defend and keep them at bay for such large parts of, majority of the game, Spain. But it was that concentration. There was a couple of minutes at the end when Messi started to get involved, but just wasn't enough. This Spanish team have conceded 1 the whole tournament. They, like Emma said, in possession great, but off the ball as well. And even as good as Messi is, he couldn't open them up today.
We were just watching over here. We've got a great view, obviously, and we can see the Argentina players going to stand just in front of their families. Look, they're obviously all playing this tournament for Messi. You see that the way that they play their game, the way that Messi barely moved today, and everybody does the work for him, even when they went down to 10 men as well. What does this Argentina side mean without Messi? Let's just focus on him for a moment, the career he's had and the impact he has for this team.
I think many of us have said it. I'm not sure we'll ever come across a football player like that ever again. Thought Maradona was the greatest football player I'd ever seen, but Messi has done it again at the highest level. At 39, to have to go through another 120 minutes today, it was just too much.
I felt privileged watching him today, because you might never know, we might never get to see him, we don't know, we haven't, obviously we're surmising, but to see him there live in the flesh again, to see what he does, to see his aura, to see where he moves, see where he carries his team, it was an honour.
You can never replace him, but they have to try and remodel this side without him. How do you do that as a manager? How do you even begin to do that?
Well, first of all, you're making assumptions this is his last game. I think the way he plays...
Cup.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think we've seen with the quality and the way top athletes look after themselves, you know, they're able to play a lot longer. And but what I know is that Argentina are a collective, and they are a team. Like I said, they have 3 stars. That is because, as a nation, the way they develop their players from a really young age is to put everything on the line for the team, and they've done it throughout this tournament too.
Did we really see, when it all came down to it, Kaz, the Spain collective that we spoke about before this game, pulling themselves together and really managing out this game, and not really until maybe the very end feeling much of a threat from Argentina?
Like I said, Laura, 400 passes more. That's when you're chasing and you've gone games before, you've had extra time, and it's been tiring. You've had to dig deep for Argentina, scoring so late in the majority of their games. It's hard. The Spanish team are special in possession, and they hunt you down out of possession. Deserved winners overall.
When you play at the tempo they play, obviously, you know, we expect physicality from them, but when the final whistle goes in a World Cup final, you've got to have more class than that.
Disgusting. There was one man on the pitch who did have class, and that was Lionel Messi. Shook hands of every one of those Spanish players. The game's done. They could have absolutely no complaints about what happened today. Disgusting behaviour. Rodri, I don't think, needed to get in their faces, but when you've been wound up for 120 minutes and you felt you've been wronged and you felt the referees on your back and you've got that win, referee's blown his whistle, leave it. And I think Argentina, are you surprised they've gone over the line again?
Yeah, Joe hit the nail on the head. It's quite embarrassing, really, because for all I give Argentina that praise in terms of how they approach the game. Yes, they know Spain are a better team on the ball, but what can they do to disrupt them off the ball? And in the game, it was just on the cusp every single time. For the first yellow card was until 40-odd minutes in the first half. But seeing that sort of stuff after the game's been played and someone's just been crowned World Cup champions, it's not good enough. It's quite embarrassing, to be honest, because that's Paredes there. He doesn't need to do that. He's better than that, you know? And he doesn't stop there. He keeps going and going and going. And we all know what it's like to lose a game. We can be very frustrated. We understand that. But this is not good enough. It's not a good look at all.
That's a reaction to them being outplayed, outthought on the football pitch, and then the result of that at the end. So it's sad, it's poor from the team players.
Huge frustration spilling over. But for Spain, let's focus on the positive, because an incredible tournament. To concede 1 goal through a whole tournament has been a marvellous defensive display from them, but also in attack, and the possession-based football they play is so attractive.
The lesson in football that they've taught the world at this World Cup is absolutely phenomenal. Never rattled, never under pressure. That was as much as it got after the final whistle, after they got the World Cup, because they haven't nibbled once. They've kept playing beautiful football the whole entire time, and they've fully, like I say, fully deserved this with a great team effort.
Luis de la Fuente has now won the Euros and the World Cup with this side. He's actually taken quite a few of this side through the age groups, under 19, under 21. He's a career international manager, and he's created something very, very special.
He has, and a lot of these Spanish players have grew up and come through the system together, so to be able to enjoy these moments, the European Championships 2 years ago, now the World Cup, we've seen it at the end there with Yamal and Williams sat on the pitch. They're lying there taking it in. You know, just look and think, like, what has happened? They've won both the Euros and the World Cup. Yamal at 19. So these are just special moments and memories which these players will take with them forever.
They're singing Viva España just in front of us here. I thought it was only us who sang that. I didn't realise Spaniards actually sang it. But the scenes below us, the Spanish fans, they've had to be very patient, haven't they, through this match?
They have, and they've been massively outnumbered here today, but they showed their support for their team. And just to touch on Lamine Yamal at 19 years old, we looked at him before the game, 5 chains on his confidence, the way that he's doing this world. Everyone will be trying to get on his back. Everyone will be trying to hate on him. But he's sat there with a European medal and a World Cup. What a beautiful, beautiful day for that young man. I'm so pleased for him. 19 years old.
He was 19 just a week ago, and he burst to life for us, didn't he, at the Euros?
Not burst into life, he burst on the seat gaps.
Well, we know he burst into life 19 years ago because we've seen him as a baby, of course, with Lionel Messi, and that handing over, if you like, of the baton. You know, we've seen Ronaldo depart potentially the international stage in this tournament. Who knows whether this will be the end for Messi, but when there is talent like Lamine Yamal, the game is in rude health.
We call him Lamine the Dream, don't we? And I mean, Mbappe's been sensational. we do. And Mbappe's been phenomenal at this tournament too. But in terms of winning the Euros and the World Cup at 19, and coming into the tournament with an injury, a hamstring injury as well, and just growing into the tournament, and it was difficult for him today. Tagliafico was really tight to him, and the thing I liked about him most, he didn't react. Because he was trying to get into his head, and you know what the game could have been like if he would have reacted, try to get him sent off, and he was just so calm. For someone at 19 to show that composure and be that good on the ball, he's an absolute superstar.
Physically still growing as well. Not only did he not react, he stood up to it. He wasn't rattled, he didn't back down, he had the whole entire team trying to smash him. He just kept so cool, kept his head, kept trying to have those big moments. A real standout performance from him today.
But what about the Spanish team is Yamal has had a difficult tournament. He hasn't been, at his best what we've seen over the last couple of years. But then the subs which they've made, Moreno, Torres coming on today, winning goal, almost being an out the team. The manager deserves a lot of credit for what he's built at this team.
Yeah, and what he has built here is incredible team spirit. And a lot was made, actually, that there were no Real Madrid players in this team and in this squad when he selected the squad. Obviously, there is now, because Cucurella has of course moved from Chelsea to Real Madrid. But there is clearly a plethora of stars, huge stars in this squad, but they work together.
Yeah, I think the squad's got a really good balance. It's got some experience, a lot of youth, but they've got players who've grown up through the system together. They know each other's game inside out, and that's shown. The winners as well. They won the Euros 2 years ago. So they've had a big advantage knowing how to win and make the competition, and I think that showed as well in the game today.
Well, you've been talking about all tournament. You've been talking about goalkeepers. Can we talk about Kubasi at the back?
Do you think he's a contender for the young player of the tournament?
100%. He's outstanding. When he plays in Barcelona, at times they play very high, and it's difficult. He gets exposed behind. But in this team, the leadership, the composure he shows, he stands up to everything. 19, conceded 1 goal in the whole competition. It's outrageous. When I see these sort of players, for the future, like you said, Olmo's been excellent. Nico Williams coming on the left-hand side. Yamal, the future looks so great for Spain.
Shall we have a look then at the goal that has won Spain the World Cup? And while it will go down as obviously Ferran Torres' brilliant goal, Williams involved in terms of keeping the ball alive.
Yeah, it was, and this is from the kick-off of extra time. And then the ball goes back to Simon, and Argentina don't really rush to try and get the pressure on the ball. Obviously, they're down to 10 men. And then, Messi, obviously, they're playing a 4-4. Messi's not really helping out defensively. So then the ball goes forward. And then now, this is where they needed that little bit of luck and something to force them in the penalty box.
Well, that's the thing there, and this is what Joe was talking about a little bit earlier in the show. But what Argentina did, defended so well, and you see Simeone there with Torres, when he comes onto the pitch, what the difference with Argentina, they were switched on. He switched off for a moment, and he gets punished. That is a different thing.
They've got the numbers. That's not down to a numerical disadvantage. That's down to Simeone switching off. Brilliant from Nico Williams. And that finish, Wayne, on the half volley, left foot.
It's incredible. It's a great knockback, but to finish it like that, have the composure at this stage of the game, to get the elevation just to get above the keeper, and the calmness and hit it with the side foot and just guide it into the roof of the net. It's such a great goal.
Fantastic finish from Ferran Torres. And William